Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, what is going on with People's Coffee Creamer?
Also, what's the new golden at bat rule that the MLB is thinking about adopting?
All that and more on the way next. You're going to love this. It's not just Giving Tuesday. It's Indulge Jolly Tuesday.
Oh, no.
We talk about your interests on Tuesdays only. And so look at this. We're talking baseball in the off season, where the owners' winter meetings have been going on.
Yep.
And that leads to where they start discussing, like, well, what do we want to do for the new season, blah, blah, blah. One of the things that has been reported is a new rule change. Jason Stark of The Athletic claims that this isn't agreed upon yet, but it is an idea that has gotten a lot of traction at the owners' meetings, and that is the golden at bat rule.
Oh.
How it would work, it depends. They're still sorting it out if they even would decide to do it. But the golden at bat would mean that you could pick any player on your team for a specific at bat, even if it wasn't their turn, and they could come up to the plate and take the at bat for whoever was actually supposed to be taking the at bat. And you could do that once a game, or possibly maybe they're like, oh, maybe only after the seventh inning once a game. What do you make of it as a big baseball fan?
I'm not a fan of it at all. I'm one of those baseball fans that's like a baseball purist. I don't like rule changes. I want it to stay the same. But also, I just feel like this takes away like those special moments that no one can predict. As a Cleveland fan, obviously, I remember the 2016 World Series. Game 7, Rajai Davis comes up. We're down. He hits an insane home run. The whole place goes nuts. I remember my house, like, it felt like it exploded in that moment.
For everyone, it's like, who's Rajai Davis? That's the point.
That's the point. That's why I bring him up. Because no one would predict Rajai Davis to hit a home run in that situation. So if you had a golden at bat, I believe that was after the 7th inning. I think it's in the 8th inning when that comeback happens. And they put in, Francisco Lindor or somebody else that was on the team that's supposed to get the home run. They don't always do in those moments. So I do feel like that kind of robs fans of those insane moments that are so unpredictable. Yeah.
Some of the other issues with the rule possibly that it, depending on, again, it's not even been written and agreed upon yet, but if they did this, there could be scenarios where you have the same player batting back-to-back at bats.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which would kind of be crazy because, like, whoa, what does he strike out the first time and then he's up the second time? And, like, I don't know. Because he could, I don't know, what if he gets a hit the first time and then you want him to go up again, but he's already on base?
Got to get a ghost runner, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. But, it would be complicated. It does seem a little goofy, a little silly. I understand why baseball is doing it, though, because they want more of their stars. And when you're watching football, the quarterback is the star. He's on the field the entire time. Basketball, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, they play like 40 out of the 48 minutes of the game. They're playing most of the game. Baseball, you get 1 out of every 9 times is when your star player comes up. And so you want to get the star player out in front of people more often. But this is a silly way to do it. Although, as a Red Sox fan, I support this.
Why?
Because when the Yankees get to the playoffs, they'll use the golden at bat to let Aaron Judge bat again, and he'll just strike out.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it won't work.
I actually kind of love it. I think only the Yankees should get the golden at bat rule.
Only the Yankees.
Only Aaron Judge.
Well,
just give it to him.
They formulate their lineup to have a golden at bat every single at bat, and it just doesn't work. So
yeah, right. It is silly. People are rightly saying that out of all the silly things Rob Manfred, the commissioner of MLB, has done, this possibly would be the worst.
This would be definitely the worst. I've heard that they're trying to change rules to make baseball appeal to people that are not baseball fans.
Yeah.
Stop doing that.
Would you stop watching?
No.
I've seen a lot of people talking about this. The Death Clock app. Mm-hmm. It is, now I feel like I've seen ads for things similar to this going back as long as the internet has existed. But this is an app that's actually kind of taken off. It is an app that uses artificial intelligence and many, many different studies that have been done over the years. And it's added those all in together and uses those. And then the information that you give it about yourself to predict exactly when you will die.
Which it's funny to me that they say it's like, this is the exact time you'll die. And it gives you like this countdown with seconds included and all of that. And yet if you want to pay, it will give you some ways that you can lengthen that time or, add to your time. So it's like, how exact is this if you can add to it?
Yeah, I feel like that's a gimmick.
Obviously.
I feel like the exact time, and it also tells you the most likely cause of death, which actually I feel is helpful. But can it really predict, like, if you get hit by a car?
Right. That's the thing. Is it obviously can't predict tragedy. It can't predict, the unforeseen. But yeah, it's crazy to me that something like this exists, but also it's not crazy because we do have a culture that's kind of obsessed with staying young and obsessed with, not dying. We're afraid of death and all of that. So
what a crazy thing that we don't want to die.
We don't want to die. We're
our
afraid
culture.
Well, no, I do think it's a part of our culture.
That's true.
Because in other parts of the world, they're not afraid of death. In some places, death is a celebration, and so I do think it's not a surprise that this is something where it's like they have to see how they're going to die and how much time they have left. It's like, come on, isn't this a plot of a horror movie? Where you look it up and it gives you your time or whatever.
I think it's literally called Death Clock.
Yeah, something like that, or like Death App or something.
Yeah. So you don't want to do this though?
No.
Oh, I want to do it.
You want to see what's going to kill you?
Out. Yeah. What do you think would kill me?
How am I supposed to know? I'm not this AI.
If an app can predict it, I feel like you're smarter than an app.
I don't know if I'm okay. Well, yeah.
Come on, just give me. What do you think it's going to kill me?
Anything? Come on. I don't know. How am I supposed to know?
Coronary failure.
No. Who knows?
Who knows? This app.
Yeah, apparently this app.
I want to test this out. I'm afraid. You know what I'm afraid of? I'm not afraid of how I'll die. I'm afraid of giving this all my information and how it would use that against me.
Exactly. That should be what you're afraid of. And don't give this thing money to tell you how to lengthen your life.
I'm not going to do that.
That's ridiculous.
But it says it needs like your gender. I'm not going to let it know that. Your levels of stress, your family health history, all this kind of stuff. So
basically it's going to it's going to stereotypically analyze you and try and figure out.
It's like a life insurance, except without the life insurance.
Right, except without any insurance. Yes. Oh my goodness. You know what? You know what I say? Don't fear death. And you know one of the reasons I'm changing this. I'm changing the subject here, Hudson.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why I don't fear death. And that's because I have a relationship with God, obviously.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like anyone needs to fear death. And we talk about this all the time, but you should go to RadioU.com/free gift to understand why there is no reason to fear death. There's no reason to look up why you're going to die. So I took it to a serious note, but that's because I know there's a lot of people out there that do fear dying and fear aging and all of those things. Those are real fears, but there's really no reason to fear that.
No, you're right. You're definitely right about that. But what if I just want to live longer? It's not that I don't want to die. It's not, I don't want to die. It's just that I want to live longer. Now, this is I don't know if this is something I can get behind. In Massachusetts, there is a coffee shop, a cafe. They call it Coffee Milano Cafe in Middleborough, where they have gone viral for offering people free coffee under one condition. You have to enter the coffee shop dancing. You have to show off your best dance moves for 5 seconds. And if you do, free coffee.
Free coffee for you.
Yeah. Now, you don't like coffee.
I don't.
But would you do this? If what do you drink? Tea? Would you?
I would do this
hot chocolate.
Yeah, maybe some hot chocolate, like on a cold winter's day, like today. That would be cool. Apparently, the cafe owner said they got this idea from a pizza shop that did this, and also went viral on social media for doing that. And so I would do it for pizza.
Yeah, pizza more expensive than coffee.
Yeah.
I know coffee, if you get a fancy drink, it's shot up in price, but still not as expensive as most pizza.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people, for 5 seconds, would love to just do a little jig and then get a free drink.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I wouldn't do this.
Okay.
One, I'm just not much of a dancer. I have a little too much. I'm too cool for that. But also, if I did enter the coffee shop dancing, what I consider dancing, I feel like everybody would just be concerned. They'd be calling 911.
Oh, no.
They'd be like, this man is having some kind of medical episode.
Seizure.
Yeah, we need to get him help immediately. and it would not go the way that they want it to go. And so that is one reason. And again, I don't make that much money here at RadioU, but I do make enough to afford coffee. I'd rather pay $8 for a nice fancy cup of coffee than dance for 5 seconds.
But this does give me an idea because, this video has, at least the last time I checked, 8.5 million views on TikTok alone.
Okay.
And I've seen it on other platforms too, on Facebook, Instagram. So it's making the rounds.
So what's the plan?
Maybe the plan is we should somehow formulate this into the RadioU social media some way.
Well, you're not
And
going to
then
get me to
people
dance.
can see your dance
You're
moves.
not going to get me to dance. That's not where this is going. No.
I don't know. Text in 8772 RadioU. Do you want to see Hudson dance?
What if I dance if it gets you to drink coffee?
Ooh, I think I would take that trade. I would do that. If I could see Hudson dance,
I don't know if
I would drink coffee.
I'm not sure about that. And South Korea. In South Korea, military service is no joke. We don't have these same kind of rules here in the United States. But in South Korea, if you're an adult male between the ages of 18 and 35, at some point you have to serve 21 months in the army.
Yeah.
That is, and we know this because of BTS, of course.
Yes.
They had to put their worldwide careers on hold because some of the guys had to go and serve their time in South Korea, right? Well, you do have to serve your time unless you are medically unable to, if you have health issues.
Yeah.
And that is what one guy tried to accomplish. He wanted to get out of military service in South Korea. Problem is how he did it. He has now been sentenced to a year in prison because he deliberately binge ate so much that he became obese enough that that he wasn't medically able to serve. But because he did that intentionally and they were able to prove that at a South Korean court, he's now been sentenced to a year in prison. That's
crazy to me that they were able to prove it and put this man behind bars. But also, it's like, that this is coming, it seems odd to me that you would want to go to this amount of lengths to avoid it. But I guess if you're worried enough that something bad would happen or you just really don't want to do it, you would go to whatever lengths it took.
Yeah. Listen, I support the military very, very much.
Yeah.
But I certainly wouldn't want to serve. And I think there's many, many reasons they would say no without me having to binge eat. But if I did have to get out of military service, this is probably this seems like the way to do it, right?
Binge eating is the way to accomplish it, I guess.
I think other ways would involve like maiming yourself. So I think this is the only way. And honestly, I might do this accidentally if I lived in South Korea.
Right? Korean food is very good, can I just say?
Yeah.
So we have to add that part in. But yeah, this is definitely an extreme take. But also, it does seem crazy to me that they're able to somehow accomplish putting him behind bars for a year. That's wild. As an American, coming from this perspective of an American, that's crazy to me that they're able to imprison him.
What the system is like there, because I think South Korea is pretty free generally, but once you go to court for this, it's just like, what? If they're even going to try to accuse you, that just means you're going to be found guilty because, everybody's going to be all the odds are going to be stacked against you for seeming like somebody. And you can imagine, I don't know if there was a jury involved. You can imagine it being pretty easy to paint this guy in a negative light for a jury.
Yeah.
You're like, this guy over here went to the buffet every day as soon as he turned 18 until he reached 600 pounds.
Oh, my goodness. You sound like a political ad.
Yeah, that's right. Do not vote for him. Paid for by his opponent.
Yeah, this is pretty extreme. I do have a friend, actually my sister-in-law, who went to South Korea lots of times. And so I'm going to have to ask her about how strict the laws are over there when it comes to the military service to see how accurate and what exactly would have been happening for him to get imprisoned.
Yet again, it is no joke because seriously, BTS was like, the biggest artists in possibly the world at the time.
Right.
And then
had to
like,
take a break.
Yeah, no, we're going to pause. We got to do our military service. It's what we must do.
Yeah.
So they take it seriously.
For sure.
And unfortunately, BTS did. This guy, not as much.
Not so much.
No, he would rather eat. I wonder what the food's like in prison in South Korea.
Probably not as good.
He's about to find out. There's a trend going on among people with babies. This is at least according to baby name consultant Colleen Slagan, which is crazy. I know I'm one to talk. I just talk on the radio, but it's crazy that that's a thing you can be.
A baby name consultant? I mean, it seems legit.
You think that's a full-time job, or is that like a side
Definitely
hustle?
a side
That's
gig.
totally a side hustle.
Yeah.
But she says that one of the trends that she's experiencing is people naming their children dog names. Some of the examples include cutesy nickname type names like Charlie, Daisy, Sophie, Ruby, Sadie, and Archie. Which many of those just sound like normal names, but I guess like you would name your kid, in this case, Charlie instead of Charles.
Yeah.
And just call him Charlie.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like Poker Face and it's a girl and she's named Charlie. There's also the short and sweet names like Leo, Max, Chloe, and Luna. Luna's that's the first one on this list. If you are talking to me about someone named Luna, that's an animal.
Yeah.
That's not a person.
That's surprising, but also in the top 10 of baby girl names, Luna is there. It's in the top 10.
That's crazy.
So that means of the babies that were born last year in the United States, they keep track of the names, and Luna was in the top 10 for girls.
I wonder how many conversations I've had with people where I thought they were talking about their cat, and they were actually talking about their daughter.
Talking about their child.
It was, yeah, Luna really loves to play. I just can't keep a hold of her. She's very rambunctious.
Well, to me, the one that's more concerning is she says she's seen another trend, which is true dog names being used for kids, like Bear, Banjo, and Blue. Imagine naming your child after an instrument, banjo.
Well, that's actually kind of cool. And also, that's Bluey. It's Bluey. His banjo is from Bluey. Blue is from Blue's Clues, I guess. I think if I met somebody named Banjo, I think that would be awesome.
I mean, it's cool, but I guess for me, it's like, I grew up around bluegrass music, so I think of banjo not as a name, but as the instrument, the banjo. So I don't think of it from Bluey either, but my little nieces do watch Bluey.
I do feel like it's a name that sets a lot of expectations for your child. If you name your child Banjo, they don't have to play the banjo, but they need to do something cool.
Yeah.
They can't just be, sorry, accountants. You can't just be an accountant and be named Banjo.
Yeah, no, that doesn't fit.
She also says cool and edgy names like Cooper, which is just a name.
Yeah, that's been a thing for a while.
Maverick and Duke, those are suitable dog names.
Yeah, classic dog names.
Also cool, pretty cool people names.
I think Top Gun also has seen the rise in Maverick being used. Haven't seen Duke as much. I feel like that is kind of the classic dog name for sure. So it'd be hard to pull that off with a child. Why
do you think it's more of a trend to name your child after a pet or a dog than a cat?
I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like with cat names, maybe we get a little more attached to those. I mean, cats live a long time. Cats can live up to 20 years. So I think the average lifespan is around that. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like the cat, the things you name a cat just don't sound as right.
They just don't mix as well.
You wouldn't want to name your child like Sprinkles or Dr. Pepper or Socks.
Or Fluffy, yeah.
But actually, now that I think about it, being a Red Sox fan, naming a kid Socks, but spelling it with an X.
It's a terrible idea.
I'm starting to think I might have just stumbled upon something here.
Oh, no.
Socks. I don't know if it worked with my last name, but if anybody wants that idea, credit me. Yeah. Socks Hudson, you put as the middle name.
Yeah.
I'll accept that as a payment.
That does sound like a classic baseball player name from the 1920s.
Doesn't it?
We called him, his name was Louis, but we called him Socks Hudson.
Yeah, actually, I love that. I think that'd be, I really love it. We have Nikki. The laugh gave her away. Aww. She is here. Hello. Good morning, Nikki. Happy Giving Tuesday.
Happy Giving Tuesday. Listen, I can't hide the joy. Giving Tuesday actually really is a fantastic, fun day for supporting not just RadioU, but a lot of nonprofits. So consider, listening today for Giving Tuesday and helping to support if you can.
Now, Nikki, we have something special for you since you are here, and that is bear videos.
Yay!
Allie,
I feel like I'm getting more now. It's like it's an increase.
Yeah. Well, now we have Allie trying to sniff some out for you. And so she found this one of a bear in Estes Park, Colorado, which I think feels like that's Bear Central, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
The bear in this case, the reason that it's on video is because it was taken by a Ring camera, which the bear tries to eat.
Aw, Allie, I, again, you're learning from me that I enjoy bears. So a lot of people find bear stories for me. I want to let you know I'm fully prepared. This is probably how I'll die one day. If I don't spend time with bears, I'm going to be eaten. So this is like a premonition of what my future is like.
So earlier we talked about the Death Clock app. So I don't know if that's an option on there, like Death by Bear.
Yeah. Which Nikki doesn't need the app. She already knows. She already knows.
I know, and it's okay. I'm understanding of how it's going to be. But if you look at the video too, if you both watch, or if anybody else has seen this, at the very end of the video, like I noticed behind the bear, like on the road, doesn't it look like he has a bear friend that's also behind him? Like there's two bears there.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Now I need to.
If you watch again, like I think there's double bears.
We're like freeze framing this.
I see. I see. Yeah, and it looks like he's like rolling around on the driveway.
I think he's just like sitting there going, "Come on, dude, let's go."
What are you doing?
Like freeze framing through this bear video like it's the Zapruder film, trying to find the evidence of a second bear. This is amazing. It is amazing. Did you see the explanation, Nikki, for why the bear decided to just walk up to a Ring camera and eat it?
Well, I mean, he's either wanting to come in and he's polite, more polite than average bears, or there's some sort of like sticky residue on the Ring camera. But like, I didn't hear like if there was an official reason.
They claim here that because the bear was hungry, bears I feel are always hungry, but this bear thought that the batteries inside the Ring camera smelled like food, and so was trying to eat it because it was trying to eat the batteries.
I do see that they said that the lady's husband changed the batteries and put the batteries in his pocket that he also puts dog treats in.
Yeah.
So it smell like that. And they say like bears are no joke. Like that's why you have to like string your food up really high or just, put it inside and lock all your doors because bears are very smart and have a really good sense of smell. So he probably did smell the dog treats.
Yep.
Yeah.
He found it out. He's like, something smells good over here.
Let me just eat this.
Let me just chomp on this real quick.
It really does go to show that like if Nikki, I just don't know if you would make it if you lived in like Estes Park. Not only would you be like encouraging the bears to come, but like you just have to be on your watch all the time because they could sneak up and just think that there's food around and start going crazy.
Unless I was near polar bears or grizzly bears, I don't think I'd actually die. But I feel like I would be the one that would be in jail because they're like, yeah, she fed him again. She's out there bothering them more. And I'd be like the bear lady. So I'd be in jail. So you'd have to come, bear me out.
Did you see the video from a few days ago? It was somebody, I think it was in Washington State, where they had been feeding raccoons, but their house had been overrun by raccoons because all the raccoons told all their raccoon friends, this is where you get the food. And then there was literally hundreds.
Oh, no.
Yes.
That would be you with bears.
Yes, absolutely. That's me.
That is what's going to happen to you one day. So even though they might be smaller bears, and when there's enough of them around, it would not be all it's cracked up to be, I don't think.
Well, then I could be a nonprofit bear sanctuary. And, again, Giving Tuesday would be a very important day for me, too.
I guess so. Another shoe is dropped in the singing along with songs at the theater debate. And this is a pretty important shoe. It's Cynthia Erivo, who plays Elphaba in the new Wicked movie. She was asked what her thoughts are on moviegoers singing along at the theater. She says, I'm okay with it. We spent this long singing it ourselves. It's time for everyone else to join in.
I mean, when you get that question thrown at you as an actress, what else are you going to say? You're going to tell people, don't sing?
You should say that, yes. Because it's wrong to sing in a movie theater.
I mean, we've certainly seen plenty of videos go viral of people walking into the theater and announcing to everyone, this is not a sing-along, please don't sing. We've seen plenty of that. And honestly, most of the time when people are making those announcements, while I do agree with them, I do think they're doing it in a rather snarky, really kind of obnoxious way. Like, chill out, bro. You don't even know these people. Like, maybe after they start singing, you can make that announcement if your theater is going to be obnoxious. But to just go in and announce as if you're like some type of diva.
Yeah, some kind of big wig.
Yeah, it's a bit much. But honestly, what was Cynthia going to do in this situation? Tell the fans not to enjoy the music?
I think she could have said something very diplomatic that would have also made it clear to try to not upset the sing-alongers.
Yeah.
But to make it clear that what you're doing is wrong. Because it is wrong. You're disturbing other people.
Again, I agree with you. I am not the type of person that promotes singing in the theaters. I paid to hear them sing those songs. But I just think it's
that would sound very egotistical. That'd be the wrong thing to say.
Yeah.
People paid to hear me sing.
Exactly.
Not you, the moviegoer.
And that's why I think it's so tough to try and come up with the correct answer off the bat, you know? Press training's not easy.
I think you say something like, well, I appreciate the people that like to show their love for the movie and Wicked in that way. However, I think we need to be respectful of the other people around, and others may not wish to hear you sing. And also maybe point out, sing-along screenings will be showing and say that, and then boom, an extra chance to make extra money for the movie.
Sure, yeah, that would have been a great thing to say, but off the cuff, it's hard to come up with something like that.
Yeah, this just reinforces to me why I don't like musicals and why I really would never go to one in a theater.
I have to say, I went on opening weekend and did not experience a sing-along. So I feel like it may be a little overplayed with the whole, like, it's a big problem, you know? So,
well, most people, when you go to the theater, are like good people.
They know theater etiquette.
And then there's some people that want to sing along with the Wicked songs. And the only thing that can make Wicked worse to me is if I was trying to watch it and somebody was singing along next to me.
Right.
It's the only thing that can make me hate it even more.
Oh, my goodness.
What was I was going to say?
You were going to add something else?
Yeah, and I just got distracted by how much I really don't like musicals.
You got distracted by your hatred.
Yeah, it's not good. The times they are a-changin'. In the state of New York, they've just made a big change to their law that has finally seen the end of cheating on your spouse being a crime. Since 1907, if you cheated on your wife in the state of New York, or cheated on your wife or husband, it was potentially considered a crime. Now, they do say it was notably hard to enforce this law and actually jail people for adultery. But nevertheless, this was a rule that was on the books all the way until just a few days ago when New York Governor Kathy Hochul repealed the statute. And now you are free to cheat on your spouse as much as you want, at least as far as the law is concerned, in the state of New York.
I feel like the reason this probably stayed on the books so long is because who wants to be the person to repeal this law? Yeah. It's like, that looks a little bit sus. Like, she literally made a statement saying, while I've been fortunate to share a loving marriage with my husband for 40 years, you know, she had to add that in.
Yeah, right.
Because you don't want to seem like the person that's like, hey, why are you repealing this law?
Yeah. You wouldn't want to be the governor running on that platform. For too long, it's been illegal to cheat on your spouse. When under my rule, we can cheat all we want.
Cheating is free and allowed.
Cheating for everyone. I like to think of the person that knew this was a law this whole time, and like maybe their wife did cheat on them, and so they call the cops and they're like, hello, I'd like to report my wife cheated on me. Please send the cops. Send your finest officers. I know this is illegal under the statutes. And Yeah, you understand maybe why that guy got cheated on.
Right? Why does he have a voice like that?
That's the kind of guy that would call. That is, I'm sure that man, whoever he is that has that voice, definitely called the police on his cheating wife.
Yeah, if he sounds like that, where he literally sounds like he's reporting on the moon landing.
Excuse me, teacher. He is staring at me. Also, my wife cheated on me.
You know how we talked about yesterday, how your family claims that you sound like the kid from Polar Express with the glasses? That is that voice. That's that kid.
That's what happened when he grew up. Cheated. I suppose that is preferable, though, to what happens probably more frequently, which is a hothead whose wife cheats on him, and then he rushes in there, and he, got a weapon and whatever. Calling the police like a dork to report that your wife cheated on you, probably preferable to that.
Yeah, that's a better situation. Yeah. Let the cops handle it.
But in this case, this is, this is maybe let the law step aside, get its nose out of this, and hopefully adults can just handle things as adults.
Right. We're America. We don't need any law enforcement, any government in our homes.
No. Yeah. But I feel bad for that guy now. What's he going to do?
Yeah, right. That poor guy's life is ruined.
Yeah. Now she can cheat on me all she wants. It's over. Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.